By the end of this, you will be exactly who you are right now. That's the horror. Not a collapse, not a tragedy. The same face, 400 days later, still standing one day away from the person you were always about to become. Day 1. It's a Tuesday in October. You decide at 11:40 p.m., lying in the blue light, that tomorrow is the day. The gym, the page, the application, the thing. You feel it land in your chest like a real decision. And here is what nobody tells you about day 1. It feels identical to actually starting. The brain pays you the full reward up front. You get the relief, the clean self-image, the quiet pride of a person with a plan. And you haven't lifted anything. You sleep well. You earned nothing and slept like you did. That's the first acquisition. The cost is hidden, so you don't see it leave. You just taught your brain that the feeling of starting can be bought without the starting. Day 6. Tomorrow has become a small ritual now. You schedule it. You buy the shoes. You make the spreadsheet, the Notion page, the color-coded plan for the version of you who lives in tomorrow. You spend the energy on the packaging and call it preparation. Preparation is procrastination in a nicer jacket. You are, technically, very busy with this. You don't notice the swap. The work was supposed to be the work. Now the work is getting ready to do the work. And getting ready feels almost as good and costs almost nothing. Day 19. Here's the part you'd skip if you could. The reason this keeps happening isn't weakness. It's architecture. Deep in your skull, the limbic system, the old, fast, emotional part, outvotes your prefrontal cortex every single night. Logic wants the goal. Emotion wants out of the discomfort right now. And right now always wins, because right now is the only place your body actually lives. So you hand the bill to tomorrow's you. The trick your brain plays, the one researchers found and you've never forgiven, is that it files your future self under stranger. Not you, someone else. Some guy with your name who will have discipline, energy, a clear morning, no headache. You keep loaning him your responsibilities because he doesn't feel real enough to defend himself. He's real. You'll meet him eventually. He's furious.
Day 47. It stops being a decision and becomes a personality. I'll start tomorrow is no longer a sentence you say. It's a setting you run on. You start describing yourself with a small laugh. I'm such a procrastinator. And the laugh is important, because the laugh is the lock. Naming it casually means you never have to fight it seriously. You've turned a wound into a quirk so you can keep it. Acquisition, an identity that explains everything and demands nothing. Cost, the application closed yesterday. You don't check. Day 88. Your friend asks how the thing is going. The page, the channel, the plan you told them about with so much fire 3 months ago. You say, yeah, starting soon, just been crazy busy. And for 1/2 second, your own voice sounds far away, like it's coming from another room. You hear the gap between the person who said it and the person who's living it. Then you change the subject, because the gap is the most uncomfortable thing you own. Specificity is what makes it hurt. You can name the exact tab that's been open since February. You know the exact spot on the desk. You know the playlist you made for the work that you only ever play instead of the work. The dream has an address. You drive past it. Day 150. You discover the productivity videos. You watch a man explain the 2-minute rule. You watch a woman explain dopamine. You watch the neuroscience of task initiation at 1.5x speed and feel, again, that clean hit, the feeling of starting, purchased without starting. You are now procrastinating by consuming content about how to stop procrastinating. The snake has found its own tail and called it research. This is the trap tightening, and it's invisible because it looks like effort. Every video is a tomorrow with a thumbnail. Day 247. Run the math since you love avoiding it. 247 days. If the thing took 20 minutes a day, and most things do, that's 82 hours you've spent not starting. 3.5 full days, awake, dedicated entirely to the act of postponement. You could have learned it badly and then learned it well in the time you spent guarding the door against yourself. But the cost was never the hours. The cost is compounding. Skill compounds. Reps compound. The version of you on a 247-day streak isn't 247 days better. He's exponentially someone else. You didn't lose 247 days. You lost the interest on 247 days. And that account only ever grows. Day 365. A full year. You don't notice. That's the false floor giving way. You assumed a year of this would feel like something. An alarm, a bottom, a cinematic breaking point where you finally change. There's no alarm. The day passes like any other. You scroll, you plan, you postpone. The horror isn't that you hit bottom. It's that there is no bottom. The loop doesn't crash. It just runs. Smooth and quiet. Forever. Because it was never broken. It's working perfectly. It was built to do exactly this.
Day 400. 400. You finally do the thing you've been most afraid to do. And it isn't the work. It's the meeting. You imagine him. Day 400 you. The one who actually started on day 1. He went to the gym 400 times. He wrote 400 pages. He sent the application, got the no, sent 40 more. He's not a god. He's just a guy who let day 1 you feel bad for 20 minutes a day. That's the only difference between you. 20 uncomfortable minutes 400 times that you each had a chance to pay, and you sold every one of them to a stranger you swore would handle it. He's standing where you should be, and he's not angry anymore. That's the worst part. He's just gone. A person who never got to exist, erased one comfortable night at a time, by you, on purpose, with a smile and a spreadsheet. You finally understand the engine. The reason tomorrow never runs out is that tomorrow is the one place a human being can never stand. By definition, every morning you wake up, it isn't tomorrow anymore, it's today. And today is where the discomfort lives. So today you reschedule. You have been trying to start your life in a country that does not exist, that recedes one step for every step you take. And you can keep walking toward it for 400 days, for 4,000, for the rest of a life, and never once arrive. You can close the loop. There's only one move, and you already know it. Not tomorrow, not a plan, not a system, not a video. The thing itself, small, badly, in the next 10 minutes, while it still feels wrong. Adrenaline beats the limbic system. That's why deadlines work. Why the smallest, closest version of the task is the only one that ever gets done. 20 minutes of doing it wrong is worth more than 400 nights of intending to do it right. So here's where you are. It's 11:40 p.m. Blue light, same position. The vow is forming in your chest right now. Warm and certain. Tomorrow. And it feels exactly like starting. It isn't. There's a door. There's always a door. And it only opens from the inside. And it only opens today. And today is the one day you keep agreeing to skip.
And the cruelest part is how ordinary the escape looks. Nobody stops you. Nobody hears the life leaving. There is no villain in the room, no hand on your shoulder, no locked gate. Just your thumb, your screen, your promise, tomorrow. And you can feel the bargain happening. 10 more minutes of comfort in exchange for another version of you. One more scroll in exchange for one more rep you never did, one more sentence you never wrote, one more email you never sent. It is never dramatic enough to scare you while it is happening. That is why it works. The theft is too small to report. But the door is still here, not because you deserve a heroic ending, not because motivation finally arrived wearing armor, because a door does not care how many times you ignored it. It opens the same way on day 400 as day 1, badly, awkwardly, with your heart arguing against your hand. So move the hand, open the tab, put on the shoes, write the ugly first line. Let it feel wrong. Let it feel late. Let it feel beneath the person you imagined. That person is gone. Save the one breathing.
Tomorrow is not a day. It's an address for everyone you are supposed to become.